Back in the early days in Kirtland where the church resided, in the days when the likes of Sid, Ollie and Joe presided, a caravan came through with exotic goods that proved misguided. From ancient Egypt, Chandler had artifacts beyond compare. Old Joe haggled for a price that was fair. Joe looked for miracles but only got a funeral prayer. They said Providence allowed Joe to decipher the unknown. Joe translated the text, no one else could, only him alone. Joe reported that the text he could certainly understand. The patriarch Abraham penned the work by his own hand. So Joe took to translating reformed Egyptian is what he said. Joe explained a drawing showed Abraham close to being dead. The latter-day followers were told the damnedest stories, from Kolob in the middle to the heaping of new glories. There was no Rosetta Stone or they would have used it. There was so much ignorance and old Joe abused it. Joe was always the main man, the prophet everyone helps. Joe would translate the text with Parrish and Phelps, a grammar and alphabet so all could understand that old Joe did a mighty work by his own hand. Well, Joe jumps out a window and the church is headed west. The great Chicago fire burns those texts and all the rest. The church in Utah created messages to convey, adding doctrines precept upon precept, one might say, describing glory celestial and prescribing starker sin. The book of Abraham did not like those with darker skin. Control. Brian runs the shows. Controversy with 56 wives in a place called Mountain Meadows. He offered bold clarity for all to understand. Brian kept making doctrine by his own hand. Times and seasons come and go until the 1960s arrive. What they thought was burnt in fire turned out to survive. Egyptian linguists proved old Joe was a fake. A logical explanation is what they tried to make. Nibley and others tried to square what might conflict. They could not help in the end but contradict, never once conceding Joe Smith had them tricked. Like all the king's horses and all the king's men, they couldn't put the book of Abraham back together again. They offered muddled confusion no one could understand. Old Joe's writing kept them right busy by his own hand.